Welcome, friends. My name is Lady Linus, and hey, um, I decided to come record this video at 4 o'clock in the morning with my bed head intact. And yes, my hair's a mess. It's funny looking, it's floppy. I thought about putting on a baseball cap or, trying to do something with my hair. Those of you that have curly hair know that when your hair's like this, you can't do anything with it. um, Anyway, but you don't get to say anything about my bedhead right now because so the fuck what? Anyway, um, so I have some news to tell you, and um, those of you that have been watching and who know me know that I have been uh, healing from surgery because I had a football-sized tumor taken out of my abdomen that was attached to one of my ovaries. And when you have a surgery like that where you have to take out organs and stuff because of a tumor, they don't bother to do a biopsy. They just do the surgery and then they test the tumor after the surgery. So I went ahead and opted for the surgery. And the surgery went very well. We got the tumor out. And I just got the news back yesterday about the pathology, and it's all benign. Thank you. Yes. This is my little happy dance. That's about all the physicality I can put into that because I'm still healing from the surgery, but thankfully it was all benign. I do not have to go through chemotherapy. Yes. As much as I feel like I was up to the challenge to fighting cancer, I'm just really glad that I don't have to go through chemotherapy. I grew up watching my mother go through chemotherapy on 3 different occasions. One of them most recently, the last few years. Hi, Venus. Venus, I had to let Venus out to run around because I don't like keeping her cooped up when I'm up and around, and she knows I'm out here, and so she gets a little distracting every now and then. You'll have to apologize. This is her house too. So anyway, Venus, please don't chew on that. Anyway, so as you can imagine, I'm feeling pretty good that I found out. Venus, get down. Just a minute. Come here. Come here. I did a nice pizza. There she goes. Okay. Anyway. Fur children. Anyway. Yes, you can stay here and talk to the people with me, but you got to behave. Okay? Okay? Anyway. Jeez. Hi. My name's Venus. I love you too. I love you too. Yes, I love you too. Okay. Oh. When a bunny does this, they're giving you lots of love because bunnies only groom the ones they love. So, oh, she loves me very much. And I love her. That's so sweet. I'm happy I got that on camera. Anyway, yeah, baby. Okay, so that's the first part. That's the happy part. I'm very happy that I don't have to go through chemotherapy. I am cancer-free. I don't have cancer. Let me say it one more time. I do not have cancer. That makes me very happy. So still healing up from the surgery though, so that's good. But I want to talk about what I've been thinking about the last couple days. And I know it's been on a lot of people's minds. I am very happy that we are finally, as a nation, having these discussions about race, and people are actually starting to wake up and get it. Now that there still are, I still hear a lot of, well, why do we have to make it about a race? And can't we all just be colorblind? And all of this, and all lives matter and all that. And yes, of course, all lives matter. But that is also what Black Lives Matter means, because what Black Lives Matter means, and I've heard so many people try to reframe this into something bad, but Black Lives Matter means that all lives matter, and all lives matter should mean Black Lives Matter. So you shouldn't be saying all lives matter in response to Black Lives Matter, because in a sense that all means the same thing. Because nobody's saying that Black lives matter more. They're saying that Black lives are in danger right now. We need to pay attention to that, and we need to say that Black lives matter, especially if you believe all lives matter. Because I've seen an awful lot of people shouting, all lives matter, but then saying a lot of racist shit. I'm just going to say it outright. If you believe all lives matter, but you're still saying racist shit, you don't really believe that all lives matter. You're being a hypocrite. So here's the deal. As much as my job with Lions Pride has been to educate people on matters of race or homophobia or people with disabilities or, just anyone that has an experience that is different from yours. I have come to the, this is what I've been thinking about. We get so caught up in trying to educate everybody else and pointing out where their flaws are or where their biases are, that sometimes we forget to stop and look at ourselves and do the work ourselves. So, even though I have kind of made it my job to point out where people need to work on their biases, I have to stop for a while and say, you know what, I'm not perfect. I've got some biases too. There are places where I have issues too that I need to work on. And I've decided that I'm going to focus a little more on that going forward. And as much as I want to continue doing the work, and I will continue doing the work, but I may do it more from the standpoint of I'm going to share with you my thoughts on how I'm working on myself, and hopefully you can get something from that too. Because here's the thing, and some of you are not going to like this very much, but hear me out. And so I'm gonna do this from the standpoint of talking about myself, because I don't get offended at talking about myself. And I'm not trying to offend people. I'm simply trying to get people to wake up to being open to looking at themselves and working on themselves, making themselves better, being the best person that you can be. I try to be the best person that I can be, and that's not always easy, because it requires me to realize that I screw up sometimes. And here's the thing, I was born with white skin. I don't have a racial experience. And so I cannot speak from experience when it comes to racial issues. I can only speak from the white experience. And, we talk about things that get very politicized, like white fragility and white privilege and all of that. But the reality is I do have white privilege. I've always had white privilege. I will have white privilege for the rest of my life. That's not going to change. What white privilege means that I grew up in a system that was built for white people. It was not built for people of color. And yes, white people love that. They love that they have some kind of advantage over people of color, because we see people trying to lord it over people of color all the time. Even if you think that you're not racist, here's the thing, and this is the part you're not going to like. If you're born with white skin, you are racist, and here's why. The white system that we grew up in has sometimes subconsciously put into our heads white supremacist ideals. We spout them all the time. They come out of our mouths, our hearts, our minds. And we may try to not be racist people, but we still have grown up under the influence of white supremacist ideals, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not. I don't like it, but I have to admit it, that I was born with white privilege. I don't understand. I could never fully understand the black experience because I'm not black. Now, here's the thing. You can be a good person and still be racist. Okay? Everyone freaks out when they're called racist. I'm not a bad person. Well, no, you might not be. But you might also be racist. I have been known to do racist shit. I'm sad to say. I can give very specific times growing up, maybe even last week. I could probably, if I thought about it hard enough, I could probably come up with something I did last week or said that was racist. Does that mean I'm a bad person? No. It just means I've got work to do. And this is why I'm trying to focus on myself instead of trying to point out everybody else's flaws, because I'm the only person that I can truly change. And that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm asking everyone else to do too. So here is what I've been doing, even though I've been going through my own health issues and been struggling with my own emotions on that. So I've been, I've been isolated at home still, and I will continue to probably for quite a while because Idaho's coronavirus numbers are going back up again because people aren't doing what it takes to keep it curbed. So, excuse me. So I have been watching a lot of Hulu and other streaming devices because I've just been locked in my room at home. So every once in a while I come up with one of these stories about black people and I go, ooh, that looks good. I want to watch that sometime, but maybe later. So yesterday, I came across one of these movies and I started to think, oh, maybe later. And I went, no, I got to stop this maybe later thing. I need to watch this right now. So I clicked on it. It was called Say Her Name, The Life and Death of Sandra Bland. And I'm not going to give you a synopsis of the documentary. I think you need to see it. But what I would recommend first is subscribing to and watching the YouTube channel Sandy Speaks first. And because it will give you an idea of who this woman was. Hi. Good girl. It'll give you an idea of who this woman was before you watch the movie. And I watched the movie first and then watched Sandy Speaks. But I recommend doing it the other way around. I think it would be so much more impactful if you knew who this woman was before you watched the movie, if you haven't already. Oh, you're giving me lots of love. Oh, baby, yeah. Oh, you're so sweet. I love you. I love you. That's how a rabbit shows you love. She kisses you. Well, what she's doing is she's grooming me because that's how bunnies show love to each other, is they groom each other. Whoops! Okay, let's watch where you're hopping, baby. Anyway, so as I'm continuing to watch Sandy Speaks, I want to watch all of the videos of Sandy Speaks, and I'm getting to know Sandra Bland. My thought is, if this woman were still alive today, she's someone I would want to know. She's that good of a person. She's a good person. She's intelligent. She's well-spoken. She speaks up. And that's someone I would want to know. I'm sad. As I'm watching these videos, it's hard to watch them without getting teared up or getting a lump in my throat or just outright bawling, because the world needs more people like Sandra Bland, and she's not here anymore. So I want you to get to know Sandra Bland too. And unfortunately, Sandra Bland passed away the same month that my father passed away. Actually, let me rephrase that. Sandra Bland was murdered. I believe she was murdered. You know, and I know that there's been no evidence of it, but I believe her family when they say that she was murdered. But anyway, she was murdered the same month that my father passed away, which is why I didn't recognize her name when the movie came up on my screen, because I try really hard to pay attention when the police or law enforcement kill a black person. So, yeah. Anyway, watch Sandy Speaks on YouTube, and then go watch the movie. It's definitely on Hulu. I don't know what other streaming service the documentary would be on, but it's called Say Her Name, The Life and Death of Sandra Bland. So I just want to say to Sandy, wherever you are, I'm sad that I didn't know you in life. And to Sandy's family, I believe you. I believe you when you say that Sandy was murdered. And hopefully, I did see a news article that last month that some new video was shown to the public that hadn't been shown before, that is now raising more questions, and people want the case reopened and re-examined, because nobody was charged in the death of Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland. Nobody was charged in that death, and someone needs to be. So anyway, I think that's enough for today. Yeah, I've still promised you more detailed video on what Lion's Pride is, but that'll have to be in the future when I can really think that out, because I know what Lion's Pride is in here and in here, but it's harder to explain what Lion's Pride is, because I agree it's not well defined for the average person to know what it is. So I love you, and if I may borrow a term from Sandy Speaks, and I'm speaking specifically to my black friends, I wish you well, my kings and queens. And as Sandy would say, go out there and build your kingdom and queendom. And if you're white and you're saying, how come you're not calling me a king and queen? I'll explain it to you privately later. I love you all. Be well. This is Lady Lioness and Friends signing off.